Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for today's video. Today I wanted to talk to you about falsification, being a false witness, and also loving what you have. So let's jump in. So when dealing with a narcissist, and a lot of times after you've left the narcissist will blame you and claim that you did all these things that they were subject to doing to you. It's crazy because you're the real victim, although we don't look at ourselves as victims because we're warriors. And there's only few of us out here that really care anymore. Or maybe it's always been this way, probably always has. A lot of times we think the world's changed a lot and it really hasn't. You know, maybe the facade or the details around us have changed. Maybe we have different education and we have different forms of transportation. We have different buildings and structures out here, but the people will not change. People don't change too much, but there are freedoms that may disappear. There's going to be times in history and times in life where people have more freedom to oppress or less freedom to oppress. And that would be because there were people that were able to raise the vibration high enough to where they had the ability to manage some of those places where fallen ones were once managing in leadership positions. And they were telling the truth. They were fighting with swords and they weren't using wands to spell people. But they used swords, and swords are symbolism for telling the truth, because the truth cuts and it's sharp, like a double-edged sword, just like the word would say. The word is the truth. God is truth, and his son, who represents the whole Bible from the beginning to the end, is the truth, and he is. Doesn't matter what prophet or apostle is speaking in that word, that's all Christ. He wasn't just Christ. It wasn't just the truths of Christ in those four gospels. And what I'm saying is when you make true change, you may elevate to a place of leadership where you can make even more change and affect communities and people around you on another level. But a lot of times light workers are humble, and they should be, but they're not assertive, so they allow themselves to get pressed down and controlled. The enemy sends out narcissists to come and fake themselves to you. It's not them, really. It's the entity that they have housed in them, that they have allowed in. And it comes to light workers. It's not by accident, to suppress you, to suppress your light, to dim your light, so that they can keep the vibration of this world system down. And this is the deal. Fallen angels are going to be people that you see in high profile places, presidents and governors and people in Hollywood and people like that. In these high positions that are promoting darkness are probably some sort of dealing with a fallen host or the embodiment of one. And they're protected with legislation. They're protected with rules and laws. And if you had a case against them, they can slow it down or almost stop it indefinitely by pausing it until they're not here anymore. These beings, they don't really die off. I mean, the people that maybe they're dealing with or housed in, they definitely do, but these beings have been here for since ancient of days. But their copulations are the demons, and the demons are in my humble opinion, are the more the workforce. So you have the higher end fallen angel types that are in position, they're cloaked, and they're cloaked in good energy and all of that. They look like an angel of light, and they're trying to manipulate the world. And as much as it seems like it's chaotic, it is order out of chaos. So if you have, say, fallen angels ruling the world and in every sector, including some of these top tier preachers and pastors you see on TV, the musicians and Hollywood and science and history and chemistry, anthropology. Anthropology is a very interesting topic I've been kind of diving into a little bit. And ever since the time of Adam, Adam, we have been on this earth dealing with these sorts. And they have been suppressing this light in light workers, people that love. So the environment will be terraformed for them to survive and to thrive. And then they promote all these policies and things and laws and rules and to make it harder on types of individuals. And they put rules in place that are preferred by these demons and fallen angel types that will promote or make it easy on some of the strategies that they use. They will be open to them. And all they have to do is get a light worker to funnel their thinking and thought process down a certain lane, a certain road. Then they can seduce them and use them, get power over them, and entrap them and snare them. A lot of times when you have a soulmate out there that's meant for you, the enemy's going to come to you and to them cloaked in angel-like light and really be demonic by nature if you're both light workers. And they're going to convince you that they are your soulmate. Now, you have maybe never met your soulmate before, and you may never meet them, because if you're not obedient to truth and justice, then you won't be able to succumb the wiles of the devil. You both would have to defeat the enemy in different territories and areas. You could be in different parts of the world to come together. And the enemy definitely doesn't want that to occur, two light workers to come together, because they will cause ripples in the environment and in the status of the economy and everything. To promote goodness, it will have a ripple out effect, and it will cause a shakeup in every area of business and health and wellness and everything. It will be very powerful. So they don't like that. So they try to keep light workers away from coming together in a union. They like to send a false twin flame to each of you. And sometimes what they will do is have another party that will be friends with your light worker counterpart, and they will get to know them and hold them down and wear their energy. And then that false twin flame will come to you wearing your true soulmate's energy, while they're kept down somewhere else. You don't even know each other. And because they're wearing their energy by keeping them down, you really think they are your soulmate. And what they will also do is get these light workers, they will convince them to get into lust and stuff if they can. And the first thing they would want to do is give them an STD or an STI, so that different things can happen. Well, they would like to give it to both of you. Like I said, you may never meet. You don't even know who that soulmate would be. I'm just throwing up a scenario. When a light worker would get an STD or STI or anybody, it pulls your vibration down because you feel bad about it. You may be sick and all kinds of stuff. A lot of times, there are possibilities that you can get healed from that stuff if you raise your vibration high enough. Now, I know that sounds weird, but there are some of those sicknesses and things. It just depends on your faith. Your faith can move mountains, and it can make major moves in your life. But you have to believe, and a lot of times people don't believe in these types of things. A lot of these types of people will, and you have too, and I have, walk in falsities or parts of you that are a lie. When you walk in parts of you that are a lie instead of full-on truth as best you can, what you also do is you make it hard for somebody to see the truth, because you are walking around a lie. You're hanging out with a lie, and because your friends and relatives and your love partner or whatever that maybe you shouldn't be with, but because they're a lie and you're hanging out with them, you become a lie. And when you become a lie, you're like a false witness to other people and people around you that deal with you. What it will cause is when an individual wants to do the right thing or feel like they have faith to believe the right thing, because you were a lie and you had some form or fashion that interacted or have crossed paths with this individual, they may have faith to believe amazing things that would make life changes in people's lives, to help the needy and to set captives free, to help from all kinds of terrible trafficking that is going on, and all kinds of health things that maybe could have been straightened out or fixed if you were the truth, but because you were the lie, you caused that person's faith now to have them doubting themselves. Then it will get them off of their path. You may have been a light worker, not walking in your own truth and faith and beliefs, or following your heart and living correctly, believing all the people around you, and they're all false witnesses. So you become a false witness, and you may get enticed with money or something of lust, something of the 3D that will pull you down. It's always something from the 3D that will pull you down, and spirit stuff can as well, but it would be in a demonic of nature. So it would have to be, first you're in false witness, and then you get into demonology or something, whatever you want to call it, witchcraft. That would be next. But if you're living the truth, you're not going to. So now you caused another light worker to have lack of faith because of your false witness, and because you didn't operate correctly in your true nature. You caused a takedown of somebody else because they now lacked faith because you didn't show up where you were supposed to. Now, those are scenarios that can occur as well. Anyway, I'll leave it there, but just know to, you have to know that you have to be thankful for what you do have. And a lot of times we're always looking at what we don't have. And, a lot of us are living in homes, and we have air conditioning and heating. We have electronics and all these different devices and things that help us to live a good life. And we have good people in our life, and sometimes we don't acknowledge that. And we won't acknowledge that until sometimes they're gone, and you can't have the ability to see them anymore. And that's when you want to acknowledge it, and it's too late. And that's not the way to live. And that's because you weren't living in the moment. You were either living in the past and being depressed, or you were living in the future, or living in a fantasy and being anxious because you didn't have control of your sovereignty. When you allow people to control your life, when you allow people to make decisions for you, or to bully you, or to control your money, your finances, and when you have to ask questions about and doubt yourself and ruminate and question simple things, or if you're anticipating to meet somebody up for a dinner or a meal or whatever, and you're thinking before it happens, or, and ruminating about, oh my God, are they going to like this? Are they going to like that? Then you're probably with a narcissist. And if it's a brand new individual, that may be simply natural, but for it to evolve into an everyday thing, or like people say, when you're second guessing yourself, you're in the presence of a narcissist. When you have butterflies, a lot of times that's the presence of a narcissist, because you're getting red flagged, but it's fluttering. It's telling you that this person's a narcissist, but then they're love bombing you. So it makes it flutter into like a butterfly effect. So it's a feel-good red flag. It's the introduction of you and the narcissist. You should run from that. But instead we stay because we feel like it feels good. So just to know that that's the way things work. And sometimes we need to be thankful for what we do have. And if you're dealing with people hacking you, they will hack you through those little Alexa devices. Your Wi-Fi first. And then once they get in your Wi-Fi, they will hack into all the Alexas in your house. And they will be able to listen to you. If you're dealing with high profile stuff and you're dealing with people that are in the field of hacking, those are the things that can be hacked first and very easily. So thank you for watching. Till next time, Soul Jet, peace be out.